G'day, it's B Witten here. I just thought I'd put this video up to introduce you to the new channel, which is ET Art by B Witten, which is me. Yeah, I've decided what I'm going to do with at least this year. So I have kicked off, or got my accountant to register a new business name in the name of ET Art, and I'm going to set about at reproducing the images that I get off the rocks, okay, as well as other things. I have made an approach to the Prime Minister and have written him a letter, well, I will do this week, about getting some funding to just do a study to see how far the rocks, in my valley. I've travelled out to Gloucester the other day and took a couple of rocks from up there as well. That's another 80 or 90 kilometres up the other end of the valley. They came back positive as well for images like this, and images of people screaming and UFOs and all sorts of things that you can find on those rocks. I'm under the impression that certainly everyone I've picked up, they've got things on them that are certainly not natural. Whilst I show you this image, okay, was off the last rock I got at Halliday's Point, I did actually want to make a point in this video to both the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders that live, and share Australia with us. And we came here. A white man came here, and we all know what happened to your ancestors a couple of hundred years ago. I wanted to make a point of noticing that this image that we are now looking at came off a rock that I got from Halliday's Point. Listen, I didn't, at the time, I stated that it was a Halliday's Point, and this behaviour of mankind would not be looked upon favourably by the people that built the pyramid, with human help, I would expect. And it certainly wasn't humans that built the pyramid or designed it. It does do, as I said in another video, it is there precisely for one purpose, but its primary purpose. The whole of Cairo complex is to tell us what happened to our planet 12,000 years ago when two comets came down and tipped our planet off its axis. I will redo that video and the decoded pyramid video and put it up again, okay, in one go, because there's also a couple of things that I've also found that the comet sequence is in actual fact depicted in the Serapeum as well, so I'll explain that when I put it back up a little bit better. For all the Torres Strait Islanders and Aboriginals that may have seen that 9 from 9 video and seen that image, this image here, if you think that your ancestors were involved in the wholesale slaughter of their own people to eat their hearts, or whatever it is these maniacs do to prolong their own lives, or murder and rape little children and skin them alive, or whatever the hell you people do, and our government protect this, it's pathetically, unbelievably, it is unbelievable, but it is real that this is what's going on. Mr. Prime Minister, I can tell you this, Mr. Morrison, that image, this image here on this rock, is not here for the purpose of letting you know they're going to come back here to go rabbit shooting or fishing or something. They're here for a very, very good reason. That message on that rock is for a very, very, very good reason. I won't go into it. It's hard not to go into political matter on when we're talking about what we're talking about here. We're talking about a pyramid that's been built by another race of people, not us. And they weren't from here. They're from a long way away. The technology on the rocks that we will discuss over time is far, far greater than we can even do now, and they were doing that 12,000 years ago. So that's why I say, have a real good think about that, Mr. Morrison, because inaction in what I've requested from you, I'm pretty sure is not an answer here. They haven't fed or put a position to where all of this information has come out for no reason. They put a situation here where I have found all this out. It's found out in less than 6 weeks, 6 or 8 weeks or whatever, since the middle of November. We sold the pyramid, the Serapeum. We know how our country was created. Our continent of Australia was separated from Asia 12,000 years ago by 4 comets. A really historical breakthrough. One would expect some support somewhere. But I can understand why you blokes don't want to offer a lot of support. Listen, I'm not the problem here. You need to have this sorted. Our planet is going to stand up straight. It needs to be in the books. That's what needs to happen. So for all of those newcomers to ETR, like I said, I'm going to try and get the Prime Minister at this point to fund a study. I want to be involved because I know what I'm doing, and in fact getting the images. That may not eventuate, and like I said, that's why I'm still making my moves to do what I've got to do anyway. As far as the pyramid's concerned, I did have people say to me that the onus on proof, I've got an onus of proof to tell to prove the pyramid. Listen, I don't know. Do you want me to make it a few stories higher or something? Because quite frankly, the pyramid is there. I have laid out to you what I believe it's there for. The burden of proof is not on me. The burden of proof is your understanding and intellect as to whether or not you can understand what I put in front of you. I cannot build the pyramid bigger, and a burden of proof is pretty much impossible. The burden of proof is on the person who is getting told what it's for, understanding. So I don't know how we're going to do that, but I'm not wrong. It's 100% correct. The way I've laid it out, the entire pyramid complex would put it back to about 12,000 years, because it in actual fact records the Earth as it's moving out there. So I'll redo all those videos. So for all those new subscribers to this channel that haven't watched all the videos that have been put up in the past, I'm going to redo them all a little bit more professionally, try and get the imagery better, and we'll see how we go from that. Okay, so like I said, that's all I just wanted to put in this video, and just urge Mr. Morrison to do what he needs to do, which is make sure that in our history books the cycle of the planet is correct. In other words, in 11,000 years she's going to be standing up straight, and there'll be no summer, winter, spring or autumn, just like it used to be 12,000 years ago before this comet actually hit us and tipped our globe. That needs to be in the books. I can't do that. That's your job, Mr. Morrison. You have to do that. And don't tell me you can't, because in actual fact to prove the 5 comets came on one day is not that difficult. It's written into the pyramids, it's written on the rocks, to prove that all of these comet impact sites were linked. You've got one in Australia above ground, you've got one in Europe, not too far off the coast, and you've got a couple up above Australia. So I can't dive to 200 feet. That's also your job, Mr. Morrison, if in actual fact you're interested in what actually happened to your country that you're leading 12,000 years ago. But certainly, without doubt, there's been some historical breakthroughs made in the last 3 months, and I would expect you to get behind me, sir. Not get in my way. You should be trying to help me do what we've discovered. You should be really right behind me and making sure we got this out there to as many people as possible know what we've discovered. But that's for the introductory video. I hope you enjoy what we put up on the channel. I hope Mr. Morrison comes back with some fruitful processes that can do what we need to do. I, for my part, like I said, I'm not a geologist. I'm a computer engineer by trade. the next video I'm going to put up on this channel is directly related to some of the stuff that we're seeing off these rocks and what my impression of them are. So I hope you enjoy it. Like I said, I approached the year with a little bit of intrepidation because I don't really know. I'll start ET art and try and sell images that I get off the rocks onto, t-shirts and cups and all these sorts of things that seeing if I can get people interested in it. That's what I want to do, because it's some of the artwork, some of the imagery is amazing. Have a look at this one. I'll just insert that image. You could call that whatever you want, but to me it looks like a UFO flying over the sky. It's got a shadow on the ground. It's round and it's got silver things hanging off the side of it. It looks like a UFO. So there's many images like that. Many images of UFOs on rocks, I can assure you that. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and reproduce those images, but I also really want to have a study. I'll probably go and do it anyway, just even if Mr. Morrison doesn't come through with some funding. It's got to be done. I actually want to go down to Mornington Peninsula as well. We need to put some of those bigger rocks there under a microscope, then we see whether or not they're in actual fact, as I suspect, been manufactured. And as strange as that may sound, Ayers Rock is on the same line of longitude exactly as the planet tilted on. So when it went click like that, Ayers Rock is on the very same line of longitude and the very same degree, just over the other side of the planet, right in the middle of it. So like I said, that's the other reason why now I do have Torres Strait and Aboriginal warnings on some of these things, because in actual fact that is the case. I'm under the belief that in the dream time that Ayers Rock were not always there, it was placed there. That would also be something you should ponder, Mr. Morrison, before you make any hasty decisions. Some thought is required. But certainly, I did state in my last video, Mr. Morrison, if you are protective of the thing that is on the right of this image, this one here, you've got to step aside. You've got a bloke over the other side of the Pacific who's trying to get that out of his Congress, and that is why we're hearing so many negative things about him on our foreign-owned free-to-air TV stations. Well, that brings us to the end of this short video now, and like I said, it is just an introductory video, so I hope you enjoy where we're going in coming months. There may not be a lot of activity immediately. I really want to get to a point of where, when I'm going around the country, we can look at these things and make certain, because I'm certain what we're going to find is that I could go every river from here to the Queensland border and from here down to Victoria. I would find it on every rocks. That's what I would perceive we're going to find. We're going to find out that's going to be the case. So I'd like to go from Queensland border to the Mornington Peninsula, collecting rocks, taking samples, and I need a qualified geologist with me. That's what I need to have happen. I know what I'm doing in respect light. I'm quite happy to show other people if that's what you need to happen, but we need to do it. Okay. Once we've assessed just how big, you guys need to know that too. You might have already done that, Mr. Morrison, with the information I've been putting up on the other channel. You may very well have done that already and know full well that's quite the case. But either way, we need to move on. Okay, so I'll wait for you to give me a call or a letter. We need to be quick, and I expect a response this time. Not like none from the last 3 times, not directly with you, Mr. Morrison. I've directly with Mr. Howard in the past. He's dealt directly with me in a manner of speaking too. That's another story. I'll leave you to it, and like I said, I look forward to cooperation, speed, haste, and getting rid of that stuff that's on the right side and anybody in it, in our parliament, or anybody on the payroll that was, out the door, into prison, and if it didn't happen, somebody else is going to do it. That's as simple as that. These rocks have not got that message on because they're coming rabbit shooting. Okay? I'll leave you with that thought. Thanks very much. It's Brian Witten. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.